Good afternoon. It is November 21st, 2022, and we're looking at a range day today. Let's see if there's some. Okay, so basically the highs and the lows created a midline at the opening price, as you can see here. So there is uh, some context behind these highs and lows. So I will draw that for anyone who is playing that. You can see it created a range here at the end of the day, right at those prices. So let's take a look at these. I think 5 o'clock, yeah, 5 o'clock comes as we break this spike and channel down. And we go up into this range right here. That breakout fails, comes back, tests the low before going higher, and then that breakout also fails. And we come down here and form some congestion before testing the closing price from Friday yet again. And then we come down here, and you can see down here we get a second entry short. Technically, it's also a failed second entry long, but I think that's too far from this high for me to be considering it a failed second entry long. But it's definitely a second entry short off the EMA, pretty close to the trend line. So I do like that setup. I think if you have the trend line drawn, at that time you'd probably have it drawn like this. I do think that's a good setup. However, once you get the trend line properly drawn from this low down here, that's when it looks really good. So we come down here and you get a first entry, second entry, and that's off the trend line. And that's definitely a good trade. I think in real time I might be a little nervous because of this congestion here, but it is off the key entry point and it is second entry short. So then we come down to the lows, and we just form this range, and you can see all these dojis in here. It's just congestion, and when we break out, we hit a measured move and bounce and create a break of this trend channel. And in this leg up, you do get, I would look at this as a double bottom. First entry failed, second entry short with a good signal bar. And if you draw the trend line off the highs like that, it is off the trend line, but that's a very aggressive trade. And this is a second entry long, but you're going into the highs at that point. But anyway, we get a break, and we get what I believe to be a second leg of correction here, second attempt to make a leg of correction, which fails. And on a higher frame chart, you probably have a second entry short or something. Something that gives people a lot of reason to go short here. And it goes down and it tests the lows. Oh, okay, no, it creates the lows and then it bounces. And you have this higher low right here. So technically this is a failure. And I think at this point, I felt pretty confident that we were going to test these highs. And that's pretty much exactly where we go, as you can see. I figured it would test at least the close of this bar, but it went a little further. And here, this channel here, I think there's a few ways people were probably playing it, but you can see off these highs, we get a few touches. So there's validity to that. You drag it down here and you get a few touches. The midline looks like it is accurate. So I do think that this is probably the most common way people were playing it, like a spike and channel. It didn't help you much though, and I don't see any trades in here. This looks like a second entry short, but it doesn't make a new high. So I don't know. If you draw this range though, that looks pretty tempting, but you can see once it hits the EMA, there's some buying coming in. So I think maybe 64.25. Yeah, and there's only 4 ticks back to the EMA, so I think actually if you go short on this one, I think that's a good aggressive bet. If you had a better signal bar than me. And then technically this is a second entry short off the trend line. But again, I didn't get a good signal bar. And really, I mean, you'd be playing the range. So that's a tough call, but not really any good good entries in there. And then we get this one. I mean, we break out of this range. We test it once and test it a second time. It kind of looks like a failed second entry long. Kind of looks like this is a double bottom, first entry, second entry. But I don't think you can take that. Too choppy. And then we're in this range, and I don't think there's anything really in here. But you get a first entry, second entry, failed break higher. Probably enough room back to the EMA. 59.75. Yep. So 5 ticks back to the EMA. So I marked that red, and I like that. So I think not a lot of volume. So I think a lot of people are probably just taking the whole week off. But we'll see Tuesday and Wednesday if they're like anything like today. So that's how I saw it today. I'll be back tomorrow.